Actually, what was the direct question? I was so busy listening to her, I forgot. But body.
Yes.
So, no, that's a major part of what I do. Yeah, you know, because what I do is I really help women tap into their senses and tap into their body. I find that there's a large disconnect with it as well. And obviously I'm very triggered all the time. I'm always like feeling stuff and I'm always saying I'm aroused and people go, of course you are. But that is one of the reasons why I started courtesan coaching, because they were women who really loved pleasure. And I do find that a lot of women, a lot of times they tell me, well, I can't really talk about that. I can't experience that. I can't talk about sex or being sensual. And I'm like, why not? It's one of the most amazing ways to go through life, to feel, to smell, touch, taste everything. So I find that it's a problem, and they just did a study about how younger women are not experiencing sex. They're not even aroused, and I'm like, oh, I was gasping. I'm like, that shouldn't be the case. We should feel more free with our bodies and really learn to experience things with our bodies, because a lot of times we're all here in the head. We're taught, well, you can't do that because that's too risque, that's too what have you. And I'm Jewish, and there are some movements to where it's a little okay to experience a lot of these things. Thank goodness for Fridays and saying it's okay to have, you know, relations with your partner. So it's just very interesting where, you know, because a lot of times religion does come into play with it. People are brought up and taught to be a certain way and say, okay, you have sex to have kids, you're sensual just to do X, Y, and Z. So I just think that it's so interesting that we're cutting that out of our lives, but when people are tapped into their senses, they're so much happier, they're so much freer, and you know, as I always tell women, that the happier you are and the more pleasure you have, the more you can give someone else. There's more love that you're putting out into the world. So it's amazing to me when people come to me and then they start to experience it and they go home and their husbands are happier, their partners are like, wow, what's happening to you? It's because, you know, they're feeling red, as you would say. They're experiencing everything, and there's just more joy in their lives.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing.